Hello everybody, it's Captain Marty here, Wednesday, April the 22nd, with a fish pack report for you today. A lot of stuff going on, some really bright items to report in most areas. I'll tell you all about that when I come back in just a moment.
Red Drum Tackle in Buxton is the oldest complete tackle shop at Cape Hatteras. And being the closest tackle shop to Cape Point, Red Drum Tackle has been welcoming fishermen to Hatteras Island with a wide selection of bait and tackle, skilled custom rod builds, rod and reel repair, expert knowledge and information since 1974. Red Drum Tackle knows how, when, and where to fish. To acquire this fishing brain power, visit them online at reddrumtackle.com. Red Drum Tackle, the oldest complete tackle shop at Cape Hatteras and the closest to Cape Point in Buxton.
Ahoy there, folks. Captain Ben Brown here, and I want to invite you aboard the Miss Oregon Inlet 2. She's a modern 60-foot headboat outfitted with the latest top-quality safety and fishing equipment. We make multiple trips per day out of the world-famous Oregon Inlet Fishing Center. Visit missoregoninlet.com or call us today at 252-441-6301, extension 1. So ditch the beach for a bit and set sail with the Miss Oregon Inlet 2.
So we start down in Hatteras with our offshore fleet, and the guys down there blown out again. Wind was a factor for them. It's been a couple days since they've gotten out. The last time they got out, they had a lot of blackfin tunas. We had some of the first blue marlin of the year. They've also had some of the first mahi of the year. Mahi or mahi or dorado or dolphin is what they're called. They're the dolphin fish is really what they're called in the fish books. But anyway, as you can imagine, that creates a little bit of problem with restaurant menus. So we'll just go ahead and do like the modern crew does and call them mahi. But some of the first mahi of the year, real crowd pleasers, great eating. Anytime you can take a kid from Ohio fishing and get a fish that jumps all across the water like they do, oh man, that's fun. And they're beautiful. Green, gold, yellow, blue, have all the colors in them. They're just really crowd pleasers. On a good day, you can catch 50 or 60 of those in a few minutes if you find them around a bed of sargasso weed or an old log floating out in the ocean. They love to hang around stuff. But that's what happened for them offshore yesterday, blown out. But inshore, their guys continue to fish around the inlet, and they're catching sheephead in good numbers. Some nice schools of red drum being worked on as well, and even some bluefish. And these bluefish are in the 7 to 12 pound range, really more of them in the 10 to 12 pound range, like almost like a good old-fashioned big bluefish. For Oregon Inlet, I really couldn't find a confirmed report if anybody got offshore, but they have been doing really well on king mackerel and blackfin tuna offshore. We had a couple great days of yellowfin tuna fishing, but it wasn't for every boat. You had to be kind of lucky to come up with some numbers in the area around the limit of tuna, which would be 15 to 18 yellowfin tuna. However, we have seen really unusual for this time of year, big schools of bluefin tuna up right in close to the beach. A couple days ago, they were right there off the Wright Brothers Monument, and right in mixed with them, a big school of red drum as well. That's pretty darn exciting. You know, some of the inshore boats or nearshore boats are getting to do some real offshore class fishing, really, and it's just a great thing to see. So that's what's going on there. But most of our action is in the surf report. We know a lot of our listeners are planning trips down to the Outer Banks and trying to keep their thumb on exactly what is going on. Let me just tell you this. Things are picking up. Things are picking up in a big way. We're seeing our water temperatures bumping 60 degrees now, some above 60 degrees. Let's see, I had Rodanthe Pier at 59 degrees yesterday, but I've seen some mid-60s already, and it's showing in the fishing, the drum being the biggest thing, and they're up and down the beach, moving around like they always do. There was a big crowd at Cape Point for a good couple of days. They were catching both yearling red drum, a few bigger than yearling red drum, the 40 inchers, a few slot size drum where you can keep one, but also big bluefish. And but that's not the only place. That's the traditional place where everyone would like to go. But Ramp 49 had great bluefish and drum fishing. Ramp 38 was good on puppy drum. We're seeing a lot of drum over the slot size. I call them yearlings. I guess that's what I should call them. I'm not a drum fisherman, and I don't want to sound like I'm an expert, but they're bigger than slot size drum. And so I would call it pretty darn good fishing, at times very good. And they're up and down Hatteras Island. The Avon area has been pretty good with the drum, with the bluefish. We're still seeing sea mullet up and down Hatteras Island. And we're seeing a lot of small sharks and rays. You're going to bend a pole if you go fishing. But there's also some big sandbar sharks. We've reported on 3 or 4 of those in the 6 to 8 foot range that have been caught. That's a heck of a thing to drag out of the surf. But one thing that's kind of new in today's report is we now are starting to see some of the drum north of Oregon Inlet. Up in Avon yesterday, quite a few drum caught along the beach, so that was good. Of course, we just mentioned that whole schools of them are roaming around off the Wright Brothers Monument. And so it's just a matter of them coming into that water along the beach. And we're going to just see it. We're going to get a full court press from Ocracoke to the Virginia line right now. Now is prime time to be here. Now it's prime time to go surf fishing. Do what you can to help your cause by having fresh bait. Mullet, fresh jumping mullet is the way to go right now on this drum bite. But all of our local tackle shops will steer you into what you need to catch what you're going to catch. So keep all that in mind. The piers didn't have a whole lot to talk about. Avon Pier had some drum that looked to be slot and above slot size. Rodanthe Pier, a good bite on the sea mullet. We're seeing sea mullet up and down the beach. So I guess the way I'd wrap all that up is to say it's a good time to be fishing in the surf, and we're entering into the prime spring season. So anytime in the next 2 to 3 weeks is probably going to be what I would call ideal. So we'll take a little break right here, and I'll come back and talk to you a little bit about what's happening in the backcountry.
Let's be real. No one wants to deal with nasty varmints like mice, roaches, creepy crawlies, and critters. Leave that work to the experts at Outer Banks Pest Control. Outer Banks Pest Control is the best on the beach when it comes to eradicating those unwanted creatures. They've been in business for over 25 years with well over 100 years of combined exterminating experience. Specializing in both commercial and residential properties, Outer Banks Pest Control has all the tools and equipment necessary to take on any pesky job. They pride themselves on top quality customer service and workmanship. Hey, if it ain't red and yellow, it's just some coattail riding fella. Outer Banks Pest Control, the best on the beach with a proven track record of excellence since the year 2000 and online at outerbanks-pestcontrol.com.
So these big red drum are showing up in the sound now as well, although it's a little bit of an expert level of skill required to catch them. A little bit later on, it'll be pretty much general understanding of how they work and how they move will produce some drum for you. But right now, you got to be on your A game. But that's all right. This is where we're starting out, and it has been good for some folks, and they're big. That fishery, the one that's back in the sound, is very covert. I don't get a lot of help on that. I don't blame folks for wanting to be a little bit secretive about it right now, and that's all good. But I'm just saying that if that's something you're interested in doing, whether you do it with a professional guide or whether you do it on your own, it's a time to start looking to the west to get back in the backcountry. We've already seen a good bite on sheephead. We've already seen a little bit of a drum bite. We've seen some of the first speckled trout of the year. And now we're waiting on the bluefish. We had a great season on bluefish back in the sound. Last year, we're hoping for more of the same. Everybody wants to see the good old days of the bluefishing, and we're getting there a little bit at a time. So that is pretty much it. We've talked a lot about sheephead this year. A lot of our tackle shops now sell the fiddler crabs. Great way to go. That's you want to fish around structure of some kind, a piling, a oyster reef, a dock, anything you can find. Knock the barnacles off with a shovel, you'll increase your chances. Plenty of catfish back in the backcountry, mostly up to the west and north of us. The Alligator River has been good. All up through Currituck, they're catching a lot of them. So I'm not an expert on blue cats either, but I do know one thing. If I had me a bucket full of them, I'd be eating them for dinner because I do love me some catfish. And that's really a pretty good and pretty thorough fishing report as we head midweek. So I hope you're taking an opportunity to go out and do a little bit of fishing. And keep in mind, if you happen to be listening and you're not a hardcore fisherman and you're a little intimidated by getting down on Cape Point elbow to elbow with a lot of experts, let me tell you, Hatteras Island, for instance, is 60 miles long with 25 or 30 ramps or beach approaches. There's plenty of places to fish. And the nice thing about now, these fish are all up and down the beach. And so go find a place where you're comfortable, but make sure that you have the freshest possible bait, whether it be shrimp, mullet, fresh mullet, Whatever you're going to use, you want it really, really fresh if you can get it, especially for the drum. Make sure that you got the right rig in the tackle shops, and there's things you can do to put the odds in your favor, like using fluorocarbon leader and having an understanding of how to read the beach. Really, really important. I get a lot of the information in our reports from Tony Lombardi of walkingangler.com. If you go to walkingangler.com, you're going to find lots of tips and stories about how to read the beach and how to know where to surf fish. So keep all that in mind. Go wet a line. You're not going to catch them in the motel room. And let the good Lord bless you richly today.